Part 65. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 641. When Mantung watched Lai Wanyan go downstairs and leave, feeling much relieved indeed. But just as she stood still, she smelled a faint and imperceptible fragrance. Although it was covered by the smell of smoke, she could still smell it. The smile on her face disappeared little by little, and she didn't close the door until Lai Wanyan completely disappeared from sight. Tong Tong, Chu Xiang had a bright smile on his face again, just like before. It was as if he wasn't the one who did it a few hours ago. When Mantung glanced at the flowers in the man's hand, her eyes fell on the faint lipstick mark on the back of his neck, and she smiled disappointedly. As for the flowers, she didn't pick them up. If what happened today hadn't happened, if I hadn't smelled the perfume just now, if I hadn't seen the lipstick mark, maybe I would have really accepted this bouquet of flowers with joy, right? I'm going to bed first. When Mantung walked to another room and closed the door. The flowers Chu Xiang held were dazzlingly red. He watched when Mantung locked the door, his face becoming slightly gloomy. In the past, even if he just brought a small gift to Wen Mantung, only a few dollars, she would be happy for a long time. As for the flowers, they bring her a bright smile every time. But now, Wen Mantung's expression didn't change much. Chu Xiang took a deep breath, finally put the flowers away, turned to wash up, and then walked to the room where Wen Mantung was. The door was unlocked, and Chu Xiang was just about to go to bed when Wen Mantung's voice sounded. "Let's sleep separately first." The joints of Chu Xiang's hands holding the armrest turned black and blue. He stared at Wen Mantung's back and tried his best to squeeze out a smile. "Tong Tong, it was my fault before, but I also care about you. You should know that I care about you from the beginning to the end, otherwise I wouldn't lose my temper like that. I'm really too afraid of losing you. I'm afraid you still can't forget him. Can you give me another chance?" Wen Mantung felt very ridiculous hearing these words. She had already planned to abandon her past feud and start a new relationship with him. She could understand Chu Xiang's insecurity, but she couldn't stand this man saying such disgusting things after cheating on her. She would only feel cold all over her body and extremely uncomfortable. Until this moment, he still thought he was angry because of what happened before. Did he really think he was a fool? Wen Mantung sighed in disappointment and said, "It's very late, go to bed early." Chu Xiang opened his lips slightly and finally exited the room. He knew that if he continued talking, something bad might happen. Wen Mantung was rarely this angry. It seemed that his previous actions had indeed made her very uncomfortable, so she could only coax her out tomorrow. "Zhang Cheng. Husband, husband, why is it itchy and painful near my stomach? Please help me check to see if I have a rash." "No problem. It really hurts." "Honey, don't scare me, I'll take you to the doctor." "Okay, hurry up. It hurts. Stop scratching. You've scratched your skin. What's going on?" "I don't know. I can't stand it anymore. Take me to the hospital quickly." "Okay, okay." Overnight, similar cases appeared in hospitals near Zhangcheng. But the pain and itching are only temporary. Sometimes it appears, but sometimes it disappears. Doctors in the hospital follow a process anyway. They first make an order, ask a few questions, and then start checking with various instruments. But the strange thing is that after the inspection, it had no effect and no problem was found. Although there are many such cases, no problem can be found through examination. All we can do is prescribe some medicine and go back to continue observation. Early morning. The sun is rising. Li Chen took Li Nanfei for a morning run, who rarely got up early. The little guy's physical fitness was not good, and he was completely beaten by Li Zifeng. "After running home, I was exhausted and out of breath." "Ah, The sun rises in the east, Li Nanfei shouted to the window sill. A bowl of noodle soup. Li Nanfei looked back at his stupid sister lying on the table. He, Sangwo, morning. Come on, it's already 9 o'clock. Li Nanfei turned on the TV and saw Li Donglong coming out dressed. Brother, morning. It's late. It's all your fault for being so noisy last night. Li Donglong was about to go to the company. Xiaolong, this corn comes with eggs. Li Chen handed the breakfast to Li Donglong. Thank you, Dad. Li Donglong took it and hurried downstairs. Shen Jian is now dedicated to protecting Li Donglong's safety and is also responsible for transporting him to and from get-off work. According to the latest report of the station, many asymptomatic patients have been crowded together in the hospital recently. The patients are generally female, and there are very few males. It is reported that these patients all have symptoms of itching in the lower abdomen and legs, and labor pains. They are currently ill. The reason is unknown. According to preliminary verification, there were more than 500 medical records last night, and this number is still rising. In the news, this report immediately attracted the attention of Murong Shui, Li Nanfei, Li Zifeng, and Li Chen. Li Nanfei couldn't help but look at Li Chen and said, Dad, is this a coincidence? Why do you ask? Li Chen looked at Li Nanfei with a smile. You just finished talking about this yesterday, and there was a report today. It's inevitable that people will think too much, Li Nanfei said. Li Chen smiled and touched Li Nanfei's head. This kid is quite smart. But, this matter will have to wait a little longer. Li Chen began to bring out breakfast. Li Nanfei asked in confusion, what do you mean? Is there something wrong with Gu's medicine? Shouldn't Gu's be exposed? Child, reality is not what you think, Li Chen explained seriously. Today's Gu's is no longer the same as it used to be. Do you think they really don't have any tricks? Do you think Gu's didn't have any problems before? Li Zifeng heard this and exclaimed, so, what Dad meant is that Gu's will act quickly and put out these problems quickly. Yes, Li Chen's mouth curled up a playful smile and said, however, there are always things that cannot be put out. This fire will soon burn more and more vigorously. Li Nanfei and Li Zifeng didn't understand very well. They hadn't thought so far. Seeing that the two little guys seemed very interested, Li Chen explained, think about it, how many perfect traceless ointments have Gu sold during this period? I'm afraid they don't know the number themselves, right? This has almost been laid out across the country, and it is now very popular online and offline. Gu's can suppress the movement in the surrounding areas, but what about more remote areas? If I were Gu, there would be two ways, the first is to give money, the second is to threaten. Two-pronged approach, Li Chen said, do you understand? Well, I understand, Li Nanfei said. Dad, you said that Gu's side effects are very large, but Gu's did not pay attention to it, so once it is shut up, the cost will be staggering, even doubled. At first, there are not many people, and it can be shut up, but once the number of people explodes, Gu's will definitely not be able to plug this hole. The highest price of the perfect traceless ointment is only 888, but if you want to shut a person's mouth, it will not be just this number, it may be 5 times, 10 times, or even more. If there are too many people, even the Gu family, which has made a lot of money recently, will not be able to bear it. And that is when Li Chen and his team will take action. So, we have to let the bullets continue to fly for a while. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 642. The news report cannot be concealed. Just after the news report appeared, the entire online world still caused a lot of waves. Of course, the fluctuations were not very big. Many people were speculating about this matter, and many people also linked it to the video of Li Chen's speech yesterday. Although Li Chen was blacked by the whole network before, Li Chen also has die-hard fans and iron fans. There are also calm and rational people among these people, and some immediately started posting on the internet. But at this time, Li Chen was still blacked by the whole network, and there were not many people who trusted Li Chen at all. Everyone, the big reversal has come. Li Chen's press conference yesterday was obviously well prepared. This goose ointment is indeed problematic. Identification completed, the host is a fool. Identification completed, the host is mentally retarded. Identification completed, this is another brainless fan of Li Chen. The host should be more careful. Other hospitals have not officially confirmed it. How can you say that this is caused by goose medicine? That's right, in order to help Li Chen whitewash, he is simply unscrupulous. I also bought goose perfect traceless ointment. How can there be no problem? It's really ridiculous. There are so many people who bought goose, and these few hundred people want to slander goo. How can Li Chen be so black-hearted? Maybe these patients were bought by Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang, and they mainly want to reverse and whitewash them. The above is the right answer, I think so too. There are quite a few posts like this on the internet, but they were quickly drowned out. It's not that no one has reacted. When these patients are combined, it can be found that the only commonality is that they have used a lot of perfect traceless ointment recently. However, the chain of evidence is indeed seriously insufficient, and there are not many people who have such adverse reactions, so it cannot be considered as clear evidence. Soon, the matter was suppressed, and even made Li Chen's reputation worse. Li Chen stayed at home with his wife and children. As for the appeal and the trip to the National Identification Center, Zhao Hualiang was doing it. National Authoritative Medical Research Center, Drug Identification Center. Zhao Hualiang and his people were waiting, which was a very long process. Finally, after a long wait, Zhao Hualiang and others saw the results. Mr. Zhao, after our careful identification and comparison and repeated testing, we found that the Snow Run cream and Perfect Traceless cream you produced are completely two different formulas. An old professor wearing glasses said with relief, your prescription is more complete, and it is more inclined to combine ancient and modern prescriptions. This is actually a blessing for my Chinese medicine. The old director of the alliance company who came with Zhao Hualiang let out a long breath after hearing these words. Finally, a big stone that was pressing on my heart was removed. In addition, we have some other discoveries. The old professor hesitated. Please speak, Zhao Hualiang immediately said solemnly. After our analysis and comparison, your medicine is more harmless, but goose. The old professor's eyes flashed with worry. I'm afraid of big problems. Zhao Hualiang and others were moved. They had known that goose had problems for a long time. But now goose is in the limelight, and both the internet and reality are supporting them. Professor, you are right, but it's not appropriate for us to disclose the data now. We need to wait a little longer, Zhao Hualiang reminded tactfully. He was worried that the professor said it in advance, but it would affect the layout. The old professor smiled bitterly. He knew that Zhao and Gu were now incompatible. However, he was more inclined to Zhao. Because after analyzing and comparing the research, it was found that the raw materials used by Zhao alone beat the entire Gu, and the price of the raw materials alone was at least 10 times different. In addition, the effect of Zhao's side is better, more perfect, and has no side effects. As for Gu's lawsuit against Zhao, it will naturally not be established, and Zhao can even bite back. As an old professor who concentrates on research, he naturally does not want to get involved in the game between big companies. So he smiled, nodded, and skipped the topic. Soon, Zhao Hualiang took people to different departments to file materials one by one, and then handed over various identification data, and finally confirmed that it was officially put on the shelves. At this time, it was 3 days later. Zhao's snow cream was officially launched. On the internet, it naturally caused a lot of shock and waves. Damn, what's going on? Why is the Zhao product that was reported and removed from the shelves back online? What's wrong with the relevant departments? Such obvious imitation and plagiarism can't be dealt with. Could it be that the power of Zhao Dezu and Zhao Hualiang, the uncle and nephew, has reached this point? It's crazy. This kind of unscrupulous enterprise must be resolutely resisted. It's too disgusting. How can they have the nerve to sell it? There was an uproar on the internet. At the same time, the number of women who used Gu's Perfect Traceless Ointment also increased significantly. However, the women who went for the checkup and the obese people obviously did not associate this matter with the ointment. Most of them treated it as a gynecological disease. And just when Zhao Hualiang finally put the product back on the shelves, the wave of boycotts and oppositions came one after another. Zhao Hualiang and others knew that it was Gu's and other big companies that started to play tricks behind the scenes. On that day, Gu's company released another important news, which could be called a heavy bomb. Gu's one-drink light slimming tea was officially launched. This slimming tea was jointly developed by Gu's company and major pharmaceutical companies. It took 12 years of research to produce this product. It is also to solve the obesity troubles of many people in the current society. As long as you insist on drinking it for 3 courses, even if you are a fat person, you can easily lose weight. Gu's company, which was already in the limelight and even stood at the top of the current dividend, attracted much attention for its every move. At this time, their announcement was released, which immediately caused a super response. The entire public opinion was completely boiling, and there were countless people secretly praising and analyzing it. Even Gu's company officially became the benchmark of conscientious pharmaceutical companies. The response was unprecedented, and the whole society was praising it. And this slimming tea is not cheap. One course of treatment is 3 boxes, and one box is only 10 bags of small tea leaves, but it costs 3,888. If one person buys 3 courses, that's 9 boxes, or 34,992. This is really not a small amount. The Perfect Traceless Ointment is just Gu's appetizer. Now that the time is ripe, it is natural to harvest leeks. Even though the price of this slimming tea is very expensive, there are still many people who respond to it. There are even many fans of Gu's who write Gu's products must be fine products. The capital. The Murong family. At this time, there are many business people sitting in the reception hall of the Murong family, but they are all pot-bellied. Some are catering giants, some are business contacts, and some are company bosses, but at this moment, they are all looking at Murong Hungs with burning eyes. Old Murong, look at this tea. A fat man who spoke, he, smiled and rubbed his hands. Murong, we have been friends for more than 10 years. You are being too formal. That's right. We just asked you for some more tea. Come on, give us some more. Murong Hungs glared at him angrily and said, get lost. This is what my grandson planted. It's good enough to give it to you. You want to take it all away? Get lost. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 643. Murong Hungs never expected that his good grandson would send him several boxes of tea, and it would be so magical. After drinking it, my whole body felt relaxed and relaxed. The more carefully you taste it, the more extraordinary it becomes. Although it is not a famous tea, it is a famous tea. The mouthfeel is fragrant and the aftertaste is profound. The key is that after taking a few sips, my stomach feels relieved and my whole body becomes lighter as if some dirt has been cleaned away. In just half a month, all of Murong Hung's minor problems were gone. Not only that, he actually lost 4 pounds in just half a month. He didn't exercise every day, he continued to eat, drink and have fun, and he didn't feel any discomfort at all. Of course, Muronghungs didn't notice it at first, mainly because after Li Donglong's tea arrived, these old friends happened to be guests. Muronghungs would like to show off the tea sent by his grandson and make these guys envious. After all, it is not pure camellia. They all also have a little hobby of drinking tea. So a few people sat around, and as soon as they drank the tea, something went wrong immediately. Who here is not a foodie? I have tasted countless famous teas, but this mountain tea has a really different taste. The more I drank, the less satisfying it became, and the faint fragrance never dissipated for a long time. So, a few old friends took advantage of the opportunity to praise Muronghungs, and they praised him so much that they divided Muronghungs 2 boxes of tea. Only a small half of the box was left for Muronghungs. So, after these people went back, they slowly tasted it carefully, but there were too many people and not enough tea, so it was a bit difficult to share. Everyone couldn't help but show off their good stuff, so everyone in the capital circle knew that Muronghungs had a good tea. More importantly, everyone has fewer stomach problems and has lost weight. Is this okay? Can drinking tea help you lose weight? If you don't have diarrhea, what is this if not the best tea? As a result, many old friends came to Muronghungs again, thinking that Muronghungs had hidden it secretly. If you can't get it shamelessly, then you can only offer to spend money to buy it. But Muronghungs was also helpless, because his grandson really only sent him so much tea. These people all felt that Muronghungs was an old silver coin and his favorite thing was hiding. The two sides were now in a stalemate. Old Murong, tell me what conditions you want, we will agree to it, just tell me. That's right, where is your precious grandson? Are you starting your own business outside? As long as you ask, we can do any cooperation. All we ask is that the tea leaves must be in place. Murong, we have been friends for decades. It's pointless for you to hide it. Good things need to be shared. Muronghungs had a dark face, these bastards were really, so annoying. If I take out my precious grandson's tea, am I still a sinner? It's gone, Muronghungs said with a dark face, it's really gone. Seeing that everyone was about to speak again, Muronghungs said in annoyance, in this case, I will ask my precious grandson if he still has any. If he doesn't have one, then you can't blame me. Okay, a group of pot-bellied guys all showed smiles as if they were about to see a flower girl. Hurry up, hit me quickly. Yes, we are not in a hurry, we will just wait. Muronghungs. Muronghungs was also puzzled, why didn't this camellia become popular before? But that's right, if my grandson hadn't gone to that small place, it is very likely that the tea would have continued to gather dust. Due to the pressure from this group of old friends, Muronghungs had no choice but to pick up the phone, still somewhat hesitant. After all, he was always very serious in front of Li Donglong. After thinking about it, he dialed Li Donglong's mobile phone number. After beeping for a long time, Li Donglong finally answered the call after all his friends looked at him. Grandpa, Li Donglong asked in surprise, are you okay? Ahem. Muronghung's old face turned red, and he felt guilty for some reason. Are you still used to living in Chengdu? Li Donglong, who was in the office, was stunned for a moment. Is Grandpa caring about me? He felt a little warm in his heart. No matter what his grandfather had done before, at least, he really couldn't fault him. Well, I'm very happy with my living habits, Li Donglong said with a smile. Very happy too? Muronghungs felt unhappy, but he also knew that this was a fact. Sir, last time you gave Grandpa tea, he already found it? The tea is very good. Muronghungs looked a little embarrassed as he saw a group of friends urging him with winks. Grandpa just needs porridge. Muronghungs was a little speechless. Grandpa, aren't you vain? Muronghungs coughed and had no choice but to say, I mean, do you still have that tea? Tea? "Grandpa, have you finished all the tea?" Li Donglong exclaimed. When Muronghungs heard this, his old face turned red and he could only say, "Ah, a group of friends like it very much, so Grandpa is divided. If you don't have one, forget it." When Li Donglong heard this, a smile appeared on his face. He originally wanted to use the tea grown by his father to borrow flowers to offer to Buddha. Since Grandpa likes it, it is naturally a good thing. What's more, he also hopes that his father's tea can ease the relationship with his grandfather. "Grandpa, my father planted all the tea trees. He reminded me last time that I sent them to you," Li Donglong replied. Sure enough, after hearing this, Muronghungs was slightly stunned. Did Li Chen remind Xiaolong? Did Li Chen grow this tea? Muronghung's eyes flickered slightly, no one knew what he was thinking. "Grandpa, please wait a moment. I have to call my great-grandfather before I can deliver the goods to you. I am in Rongchen now, not in Jiakan," Li Donglong said again. Okay, Muronghungs agreed immediately without asking any more questions. After Li Donglong hung up the phone, he clenched his fists tightly. He just hoped that his father and mother would not be enemies with his grandfather, so he quickly took out his cell phone and called Li Chen. "Dad, Grandpa likes to drink the tea you grow. He called just now to ask for it," Li Donglong said happily. Li Chen listened to the voice on the phone and smiled. How could he not know what his eldest son was thinking? However, some things may not be as simple as you think now. If Muronghungs is really planning the so-called longevity fruit and Li Biwu, then one of them must be injured. Li Chen has not forgotten the news that Li Donglong inquired about at Murong's house. He has not forgotten that Muronghung's focus has always been Xiao Wu. However, he didn't want to embarrass his eldest son, so he said, "Since the old man likes it, let's give more. Anyway, we have it at home." Okay, Li Donglong hung up the phone happily and called his great-grandpa again. The Murong family of the capital. After Muronghungs hung up the phone, these old friends were no longer calm. "Really or not, did you really send your grandson out? Isn't this tea a famous tea? Is it really mountain tea? By the way, how much can your precious grandson send you this time? Is it not enough?" Muronghung said speechlessly, "Don't you think it's too much? Get out of here." "Ha ha ha, we don't think it's too much." The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 644. Tea Garden. This is a secret spot hidden in Rongcheng that almost no outsiders know about. However, many low-key bigwigs who come to Rongcheng will come here, because there is a real bigwig in the tea art world hidden here. The tea garden is very classical and elegant. The waiters here are all wearing classical cheongsams, and almost all of them are highly educated talents. "Old Kang, where are you?" A group of people walked in, changed their shoes and clothes. This is the rule. Kang Quilai poked his head out of the tea garden and said, "Why are you here again?" He was a little annoyed by this group of people, who came to grab his tea as soon as they came. "Hey, look at what you said, aren't we here to see you?" "That's right, our tea company is so big, I don't care, I came to see you specifically, and you still despise it. This is not the way to treat guests, I will punish you to take out your last tea later." Kang Quilai rolled his eyes, he knew that these animals must be up to no good when they came here. "No more, I've finished the tea." "Old Kang, you're going too far, good things should be shared." "That's right, you brought so much back last time, we all saw it." Come on, we won't be polite." The teacups that Kang Quilai was holding were all snatched away. "Ah, it smells so good." Kang Quilai had a headache, that was the teacup I had drunk from. "You are all the bosses of the top tea companies in the country, can you have some shame?" "What is shame?" "I don't know, I don't have it, do you?" "What a coincidence, I don't have it either, Don't we just friends? Kang Kwili sighed heavily. How did he meet such a group of bandits? It's enough for a group of adults to be so obsessed with a little tea. Hey, Lao Kang, has this tea been developed? How about we cooperate? Good things should be brought out. That's right, don't hide good things. Your tea is really magical. Drinking it can also help you lose weight. After brewing the tea, the group of people showed an intoxicated look. The room was filled with the fragrance of tea. After tasting the tea carefully, everyone asked, Kwili, how about it? Cooperation. This tea is not grown by me. Kang Kwili didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What? You didn't grow it? How is that possible? Is there anyone more awesome than you, the tea king, who grows tea? Then you have to introduce it well. If we package this tea and then promote it, it will definitely beat all the weight loss products on the market. Hearing this, Kang Kwili's eyes lit up. Yes, this is a good idea. The Gu family has been in trouble recently. I can help them once. In this way, Xiao Fengfen will definitely become my goddaughter. Wait a minute. Who are you going to help? Who is Xiao Fengfen? You old man are not honest, tell me. Zhang Cheng. In the most luxurious Four Seasons restaurant, Gu Qingfen and all the CEOs of the cooperative enterprises raised their glasses. Celebrate our great victory, cheers. Cheers. There were many responses. Today, Gu's has several major cooperative enterprises. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is the top leader. And almost everyone here is worth tens of billions. How can you cooperate with the current Gus without any foundation? Congratulations, Mr. Gu. Congratulations, Mr. Gu. That kid Li Chen is probably trembling in the countryside now. Yeah, I don't know where that kid Li Chen got his confidence from. He actually dared to go against us. Now, they are all boycotted and despised by the whole network. There is almost no hope of turning the tables. The compliments from everyone made Gu Qingfen and others feel particularly comfortable. Li Chen, when you attacked my son, did you ever think that it would be so miserable today? Mr. Gu, we toast you a glass. This perfect and traceless ointment is now selling more and more. Yes, this one drink light slimming tea has been sold out since it was launched. Mr. Gu is still far-sighted, and we can also drink soup with it. When it comes to strategic vision, who else but Mr. Gu? Gu Qingfeng's face was ruddy. Even though he had been running a business for many years, he had always maintained a humble attitude. At this moment, he was also inflated to the extreme. Nowadays, Zhao Dezu and Zhao Hualiang have become the spokespersons of unscrupulous businessmen, and any product of theirs can be boycotted. As for Li Chen, his company seems to have no improvement now, and there is almost no sound. Not to mention Li Chen's family, the internet is full of curses. It can be said that the people of this lineage are everywhere. This celebration banquet was naturally very lively. After the housekeeper helped Gu Qingfen into the car, he breathed a sigh of relief. Buzz. His pocket vibrated slightly, and the housekeeper Gu looked around, and then took out his mobile phone. Chengdu. Li Chen leaned back in his chair, looking at the information that was constantly being collected, and squinted his eyes. Suddenly, the phone vibrated, and a large amount of information came into view. Mr. Li, Gu Qingfeng just held a celebration banquet, and his attitude was arrogant. Our people have seen Gu Qingfeng go back first. In addition, some people have successfully dispelled Gu Qingfeng's fear of you. Now, he has no defense against you at all. Okay, keep watching. Li Chen smiled, put away his phone, and stretched. It looks like it's time to start closing the net. The launch of slimming tea has become a hit throughout the country. No matter celebrities, rich people, or ordinary people, they are not too disgusted with this. As fast food life has entered everyone's daily life, obesity due to long periods of sitting and lack of exercise has gradually increased. This has also led to more and more people wanting to lose weight, but there is no way. I really love this slimming tea. Goose is such a conscientious company. Yes, I can eat freely every day now because I don't have to worry about losing weight. Me too, I went to the toilet 4 times yesterday and I lost 4 pounds. Ah, my favorite celebrities actually recommend it, and they themselves use it. We have just started now and the effect is so great. I can't believe it. What will we look like after 3 courses of treatment? I'm looking forward to it too, looking forward to losing weight. The celebrities called like crazy, and the rich also showed happy smiles. They could socialize and drink as much as they wanted, and no longer had to worry about their belly. And thousands of ordinary people who have gained weight are extremely in love with this product. Being able to lose weight without exercising is the greatest invention in the world, right? Goose popularity has climbed to the highest peak in history. After all, one solves the troubles of all women, and the other solves the troubles of all those who have gained weight and are worried about gaining weight. This is the wish of almost everyone in the country, and even the world. Li Donglong got out of the car and said to Shenjian, "Grandpa Shen, please rest early." Okay, Shenjian, the powerful master, showed a smile. The houses around this area all belong to Li Chen, so Li Chen also let him live here directly, which is also convenient for protecting people and picking him up. Li Donglong went upstairs and smelled the strong aroma of food. Crayfish, Li Donglong was shocked. Is Dad making crayfish? He quickly rushed upstairs, opened the door, and saw his 3 brothers and sisters standing at the door of the kitchen, like stacks of arhuts. Cauldron, Li Biwu, the shortest, turned his head. After seeing Li Donglong, he immediately waved his little hands excitedly, with glistening saliva at the corner of his mouth. Come on, let's eat lobster. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 645. There is a sumptuous meal on the table. Especially in the kitchen, the huge pot is full of bright lobsters. Ever since his father did it last time in the capital, he has been completely obsessed with it. Li Donglong put down his briefcase and joined the drooling crowd. Murong Shui shook her head helplessly. Why did she give birth to so many foodies? The 4 little ones were hiding at the door, watching eagerly. Li Chen couldn't help showing a proud look. Want to eat? It'll be ready soon. Yeah, the foodie brothers and sisters headed by Li Donglong nodded in unison. Soon, 2 large pots of lobster were served. Just when Li Chen was about to enjoy a delicious dinner with his family, the doorbell rang. Ding dong ding dong. It's okay, let's continue eating. Li Chen glanced outside the door. Why is the fat guy here again? Murong Shui stared at Li Chen. Do you know who it is? I don't know. Li Chen pretended to be stupid and said, let's continue. Brothers and sisters, Xiaofeng, Xiaofei, Xiao, I'm here to see you. Li Chen. Murong Shui almost couldn't hold back her laughter and said, then should I still open the door? Let's go, let's go. Li Chen felt that the fat man was annoyed. Although I know that he really dotes on his cub, the problem is that he is still the father. You, an outsider, are really not ashamed. Murong Shui stood up with a smile, opened the door, and saw Kang Quilai's neck, body, and hands all carrying things. Brother and sister, here it is. Kang Quilai didn't regard himself as an outsider at all, and said to Xiao Wu and the others, this is a gift for you. Wow, thank you. Shu Libiwa's eyes lit up, but when she noticed that her father had a dark face, she still held back. Li Zifeng and Li Nanfei looked at each other and smiled. With Uncle Kang here, I can feel my father's jealousy all the time, which is also very good. A chair was moved for Kang Quilai. Kang Quilai couldn't help but drool when he smelled the fragrance. Uncle, here. Li Zifeng handed Kang Quilai the gloves. Thank you, Xiaofang tranquilly smiled, and after putting on his gloves, he said, "It smells so good." "Li Chen, why are you here again?" "I'm here to help you with your business," Tranquilly said while skillfully peeling the lobster. "The opportunity to fight back has come." "I don't understand what you are talking about." Li Chen's eyes flickered slightly. Tranquilly had already eaten his third lobster without even looking at Li Chen. He was so skillful that people couldn't believe it. "You don't understand? Okay, then I'll tell you, this tea of yours is an opportunity now." Tranquilly started to eat the fourth one. Li Bu suddenly became anxious and sped up, but he couldn't let the sorghum be eaten. Li Chen slowed down and said, "I have no intention of selling tea. I'm not asking you to just sell tea. I can help you with word of mouth, packaging, and marketing." Tranquilly burped and showed an intoxicated smile. "It's so delicious." Li Donglong put down his chopsticks because his cell phone also rang. It was Murong Hung's. "Grandpa." Murong Shue's expression changed slightly, but she didn't avoid anything deliberately. "Xiaolong, have you had your last meal?" "Yeah, I'm picking up lobsters." Li Donglong glanced at his grandfather and stayed on his mother's body for a few seconds longer. Li Donglong clearly felt that more of his grandfather's eyes were on his mother. "There's something I want to tell you." "You tell me." Li Donglong wiped his mouth, trying to be a gentle boy. "That tea of yours is still not for sale, right?" "Do not have." "That's good. It's like this. If your father doesn't want to, then let Grandpa help you run it." "What do you think?" Murong Hung said with a smile. Li Donglong glanced at Li Chen and then at Uncle Kang. "Why are both Grandpa and Uncle Kang mentioning this matter today? Is there any difference in this tea?" Li Chen put down his chopsticks. "Sure enough, an old fox is an old fox." Everyone was bad-mouthing him, Li Chen, but this old fox saw through his plan straight to the point. Even this fat man with a smile who only focused on grabbing lobsters seemed to have got the point. Murong Shui, on the other hand, remained silent throughout the whole process. She was naturally resentful of her father. Li Donglong saw Li Chen nodding, so he said, "Dad and I will discuss the tea matter again, and I will give my grandfather an answer then." "Good." After hanging up the phone, Tranquilly raised his head and smiled at Li Chen. The fat man's face seemed to have lost a lot of weight. "It seems I'm not the only smart person." Li Chen was disgusted. This fat guy was so shameless. How could he be so embarrassed to praise himself in public? "Eat first," Li Chen said. Li Donglong and Tranquilly nodded. As for Li Zifeng, Li Nanfei, and Li Biwu, they didn't care about this at all. Food was the most important thing. If you don't eat it, the stupid sister will steal it all. After having enough wine and food, Li Chen made a few cups of tea. There was a small table next to the balcony. Li Chen pointed at the table to Tranquilly, who went to sit down with tea. He waved to Li Donglong again, and the three of them sat down. "What do you think?" Li Chen looked at his eldest son. Li Donglong was stunned for a moment and said, "I think it's feasible. The time is almost ripe." Li Chen raised his eyebrows and said, "Then you discuss it with your Uncle Kang." Hearing this, Tranquilly immediately smiled. He liked to talk to smart people. Since Goose Slimming Tea was on the market, their tea would naturally be on the market as well. As the saying goes, knowing yourself and knowing your enemy will ensure victory in every battle. They know the quality of goose tea better than anyone else. It's okay to fool those who don't understand, but those who really understand won't be fooled. Moreover, Murong Hungs also saw the shortcomings and disadvantages of goose, and the benefits of Li Chen's tea, and immediately knew that Li Chen had a counter-attack point here. Li Chen never looked down on this old silver coin father-in-law, but he didn't expect that he could see through it so quickly. Li Chen didn't intervene, but handed it over to his eldest son to deal with, and Tranquilly's advice was very pertinent, so Li Chen had nothing to worry about. As for the packaging, Operation, marketing, and playing GG of tea, they are all trivial matters. Even if goose is in its heyday now, so what? In this field, they can't play with Kanquili. What's more, they are eager for goose to continue to suppress them. The moment they hit the bottom and rebound, goose will fall apart. The more Li Donglong listened, the brighter his eyes became. This Uncle Kang is so powerful. After that, the two sides immediately hit it off and called Zhao Hualiang, who rushed over that night. Coming up with a plan is a piece of cake. Li Chen did not disturb them, but took out his mobile phone and called Zhou Zhang, a gangster in Jia village. Brother Chen. Nothing big happened in the village. No, the village is hot now, and everyone is busy. Zhou Zhang smiled. How did you complete the task assigned to you before? He, fortunately, I did not fail in my mission. Those people are very obedient. In addition, all the tea trees you asked me to buy have been bought. Now the tea trees in the next village and the nearby mountains are yours, but Li Shanfu and others are responsible for managing and applying water. Zhou Jiang's eyes were hot. Okay, I understand. Thank you for your hard work. Not hard, not hard, Zhou Jiang grinned. Li Chen rewarded him with 100,000 yuan. Arrange someone to pick the tea and send it to my house for tea frying. Someone will come to guide us. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 646. The arrangement of tea leaves was a natural outcome. When the tea trees were planted, he used Yuankai water to irrigate them day and night. It can be said that this batch of tea leaves is the best, and of course, the effect is the most significant. A lot can be picked in the house, and the tea trees and tea gardens at home have been prepared long ago. For today, the construction can be started immediately. Therefore, Li Chen is not worried about not being able to catch up with the progress. After the matter here was agreed, Zhao Hualiang almost did not stop, and rushed back without stopping. Because he still had to preside over this matter, this was also the second time his company and Li Chen's Li Group cooperated. He was not worried about not being able to make a comeback this time, because he knew that Li Chen wanted to completely wipe out Gu Qingfeng. From the moment Gu Qingfeng took action to ruin the reputation of all of them, Li Chen had decided to suppress all of them. After Zhao Hualiang left, Kanquili did not leave, but continued to stay here. Why don't you go back? Li Chen looked at the fat guy suspiciously. He had eaten and drank tea, so it was time to go. Kanquili rubbed his hands embarrassedly and said, Look, I just want to stay with Xiaofeng for a while. The children in your family are all very cute. Otherwise, I will recognize them as my relatives. Li Donglong looked at the fat uncle who in front of him with a shocked face. He was so serious when talking about things before. But now, he seemed to be a completely different person. And he actually wanted to recognize his sister as his goddaughter? Dad seemed to be disgusted. Hey, sister-in-law, I am really sincere. Please persuade Li Chen, don't push. Bang. Kanquili looked at the closed door and sighed. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work this time, it will definitely work next time. Kanquili snorted and turned to go downstairs. Inside the house, Li Chen rubbed his brows. Is this fat guy so persistent? Li Zifeng had a smile on her lips, but when she saw Li Chen looking over, she immediately put away her smile. Murongxiu turned to look at Li Nanfei, and the mother and son pretended to talk. Li Chen sighed, turned around and went to the kitchen to clean up the dishes, and the garbage alone was enough to clean up. Watching Li Chen enter the kitchen, Li Zifeng and Li Donglong all came to Murongxiu's side. Murongxiu pointed at Li Chen's back and said, Your dad is very nervous about you now. He, Li Zifeng and Li Nanfei both laughed, of course. Li Donglong raised his eyebrows and said, Mom knows too. Murongxiu poked Li Nanfei and Li Zifeng's foreheads with her slender and white fingers, and said, I'm your mother, how can I not know? Mom, you're so nice. Li Zifeng massaged Murongxiu's legs, and Li Nanfei immediately massaged her arms in a very servile manner. I want it, too. Li Biwu immediately jumped up and pretended to massage Murongxue's shoulders. Murongxue showed an expression of enjoyment. At this moment, she had the feeling and style of being the mistress of the house. How is this Uncle Kang? Li Donglong raised his eyebrows. Well, he's not bad. His wife and daughter passed away, so he's been single all the time. He just likes to grow tea trees. I don't know anything else and didn't ask. Li Zifeng whispered, he misses his daughter very much. Because I look like the deceased sister, he treats me particularly well. Is that so? Li Donglong understood. No wonder he said he wanted to adopt a goddaughter with a thick face. Thinking of this, Li Donglong suddenly laughed and said, let me investigate first. If the character and family background are relatively clean, it's not impossible. Murongxue, Li Nanfei, and Li Zifeng stared at Li Donglong with their eyes wide open. They looked at Li Donglong with a ghost look on their faces. Are you crazy? If you dare to agree, Dad will beat you to death, Li Nanfei whispered. He, excuse me, I also want to see Dad being jealous for us. Li Donglong laughed secretly. You are so bad, big brother. Li Nanfei winked and said, but I like it. SHH, the three siblings smiled at each other and reached a consensus. Li Donglong, come and wash the dishes. Li Donglong. Li Nanfei, come and mop the floor. Li Nanfei. Li Zifeng was horrified. Did Dad hear it and deliberately retaliate? As the popularity of Gu's company remained high, Gu's two popular products also set new highs one after another. However, as time went on, the problems that were slowly exposed began to increase. Gu Qingfeng had arranged people to suppress them. In the early stage, these people did not react. And some people were found by Gu after they reacted. After all, it was not a big side effect, and there was compensation from Gu's company, so it could be solved, and a secret compensation agreement was signed. However, as more and more people showed up and more people found something wrong, Gu's company was beginning to lose control. So, there were many feedback posts on the internet, and they all popped up. But unfortunately, even after these posts appeared, they would soon disappear. Of course, there were still many people who noticed it, and there were always one or two feedback posts and analysis posts that became popular. But in the entire internet world, it was really insignificant. As for the popularity of Slimming Tea, it is much higher than the previous perfect and traceless one. At this time, Zhao Hualiang and Li's group also successfully launched a new tea, which focuses on health and wellness, and worry-free weight loss. It really has no side effects and will not cause frequent diarrhea. My God, what are you doing? Just launched a follow-up product, and now launched Slimming Tea? Zhao's shamelessness is at its peak. I am really shocked. Are you too lazy to even think about it? Whatever comes out of Gu's, you just follow the trend and copy it, right? When Zhao Hualiang and Li's group jointly launched this new product, Xiaofeng Tea, the internet was once again stirred up. Many fans and passers-by were furious. It was the first time they felt that a company could be so shameless. And this incident also made more people dislike Zhao Hualiang and Li Chen. After all, the followers were too obvious, and everyone said that they would never buy it. Zhao Hualiang sat in the office, sorted out the last few things, and prepared to go to the reception room. He had to receive a group of guests. These guests all trusted the Zhao group. When Zhao Hualiang came to the reception room, he found that these people's faces were a little weird and ugly. What's more, they snorted directly, which was quite disrespectful. Zhao Hualiang's mentality has been trained quite strongly during this period. He looked at everyone and said, "Sorry to have kept you waiting. Let's get started. Mr. Zhao, if a company has fallen to the point where it can only survive by riding on the popularity and following the trend, do you think this company still has a future?" The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 647. Zhao Hualiang looked at his partner and smiled, "Do you think I am following the trend? Do you think I am taking advantage of goose dividends?" The partner couldn't help but sneered, "Isn't it right? Who in the country doesn't know that you have been trampled to death by the Gu family? I was still very optimistic about you, but your recent series of operations have made me really confused. I have to wonder whether I am right or wrong sitting here right now." Zhao Hualiang did not immediately refute, but looked at the rest of the people and said, "You think so too?" No one replied, but they must have meant it. So, Zhao Hualiang closed the document contract he was about to sign and said with a smile, "Since you all have concerns, you might as well postpone this cooperation for the time being." This time it was the partners' turn to be surprised. They recognized Zhao Hualiang's strength and character, but people's cognition will also be affected by the surrounding and external environment. Just like now, they will also be affected when the entire network is black. Now, the fact that they can sit here shows that they are more optimistic about Zhao Hualiang. But I never expected that Zhao Hualiang would be so stubborn when dealing with doubts. For these large-scale cooperation projects, if you say you won't sign the contract, then you won't sign it. The Zhao family is already in a miserable state. If this continues, will the Zhao family still have a way to survive? Mr. Zhao doesn't really think that he can make a comeback by following the trend of snow cream and the latest Xiaofeng tea, right? Just like now, people on the internet and in real life are mocking him for being the same as Zhao Hualiang. Zhao Hualiang smiled faintly, "Everyone, Mr. Zhao, do business with conscience and use real materials. As for turning the tables, haha. Am I afraid?" He was not afraid at all, because MRSQ could no longer hold back anymore. There was no need for him or Li Chen to take action. This time bomb that was getting bigger and bigger would explode soon. As for your doubts, I think you will know after using it. Zhao Hualiang waved to Zhao Yingzi outside the door, "Thanks to you for looking up to me, Zhao Hualiang, for coming here when no one else trusts me. Talk about cooperation. I, Zhao Hualiang, promise that even if this product becomes popular, I will not increase the price even a cent." Zhao Yingzi placed the elegant and exquisite tea box in front of everyone. Many partners have strange expressions on their faces. Is this considered bribery? You don't know whether some things are true or false until you use them. Zhao Hualiang smiled slightly and said, "Excuse me." Seeing Zhao Hualiang leave, these partners were a little confused. Is this retreat to advance, or is it really confident enough? However, many people didn't take it seriously after getting the tea. They were no longer naive. Women will have illusions even if they are 40 or 50 years old, but they will not. How can there be tea that can help you lose weight without exercising and reducing food intake? If it really existed, it would truly benefit mankind. Even if this person is a piece of shit, he can still turn the tables. But can Zhao Hualiang and Li Chen do it? They don't believe it. However, in order to take care of Zhao Hualiang's face, they decided to pick it up. The name of the partner who just spoke is Huang Zongui. He and Zhao Hualiang are actually fairly close collaborators, but now he has also been influenced by the outside world. The Zhao Hualiang just now didn't look like he was bluffing at all. Many partners went home one after another. When Huang Zongui returned home, he found that his wife and daughter were watching TV at home. Dad Huang Yasai stood up immediately when he saw Huang Zongui coming back. Crunch. The whole room instantly became extremely quiet. Huang Yisai looked at the slumped sofa on which she sat, her slightly fat face flushed very red. Huang Zongui laughed when he saw the shameful and angry look on his daughter's face. It's okay, Huang Zongui smiled and touched his daughter's head, helping her cover up her embarrassment. Huang Yisai looked at her father sheepishly, pulled him to sit down, and said, "What did you buy?" It was a gift from a friend." Huang Zongui handed it over, "a little tea." "Tea leaves," Huang Yisai's eyes lit up, "Mom, tea leaves." Wu Mei, who was sitting on the sofa watching TV, immediately sat up straight and said, quick, make a cup and have a taste." Huang Zongui was about to stretch out his hand to stop him, but thinking of Zhao Hualiang's series of actions and reactions, he held back. Mother and daughter Wu Mei and Huang Yisai liked to do this the most. Special tea sets were also made, and water was boiled to make tea. Huang Zongui went to take a shower first, and when he came out, he couldn't help but sniff his nose. "What does it smell like?" "It's the aroma of this tea," Huang Yisai said. "If Dad doesn't drink a cup, I feel that this tea is completely different from the ones we bought before." Really, Huang Zongui didn't think much about it, but the scent was very refreshing. "Well, this tea is good," Wu Mei couldn't help but praise. By the time Huang Zongui finished, his wife and children had finished drinking all the tea. "Is it so delicious?" "Yeah, it tastes good." Huang Yisai smiled and said, "Dad, are you going to sleep?" "Well, I'm so tired." "Come and press it for you to fall asleep." Wu Mei waved, and Huang Zongui laughed, lying down and letting his wife massage him, and fell asleep by pressing it. "Hey, is this Xiaofeng tea real or fake? It sounds like it's very powerful." "Tisk, this is produced by Zhao's, it's fake, let's buy Gu's Yai Heking." "That's right, this Zhao is a black-hearted businessman." Although many people were persuaded to leave, but some people still wanted to be stubborn, they wanted to try, how black-hearted is this Gu? "Everyone, I'm a fat man, my friend recently bought Gu's slimming tea, today I will buy Zhao's, we will record the effects of the two slimming teas in detail for everyone, and will update every day. All kinds of anti-counterfeiting anchors and so on are here." Although Zhao's is boycotted by the whole network, although Zhao's is blacked by the whole network, many people buy it at this time. Of course, most of these buyers are to black Zhao's. So, Xiaofeng tea, which should not have much sales, sold an astonishing amount overnight. At the same time, Muronghongs in the capital got a lot of tea, and the entire upper class was almost discussing this news. And those who have tasted the sweetness, use their own connections to promote Xiaofeng tea in an instant. Their own influence and connections are far beyond the reach of fake networks. Moreover, their efficiency is far higher than these fake connections. On the other hand, all of Kang Quilai's friend circle relationships were also mobilized at the first time. Perhaps no one knows how terrifying the power of this tea king is. Almost as soon as Kang Quilai made public the promotion of the circle of friends, hundreds of cooperation information popped up in front of Zhao Hualiang and Li Donglong's contact information. These people may not care about the attitude of the outside world, but they will definitely care about the attitude of this tea king. He is a very honest person, and everything he values is almost of first-class quality. Therefore, countless Xiaofeng teas were distributed overnight. Not only that, what followed was the promotion and marketing everywhere. Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang's counterattack officially began. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 648. Hey, I found this Xiaofeng tea is really delicious, Huang Yisai, where did you get it? My dad brought it back, and it seems that a friend gave it to him. No, I need to search it, I feel like I have lost weight. Really? I feel like I have lost weight too, Huang Yisai said. This tea will not really help you lose weight, right? I don't know, you will go to the toilet after drinking slimming tea, and I feel like I haven't gone to the toilet much. Me too, No, I need to weigh it. Ah. Yes, what's wrong? I, I lost 4 pounds. Ah. Really? I also lost 3 pounds. Amazing discovery, brothers, no exaggeration. Although I almost criticized Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang to death before, I dare say that the Xiaofeng tea is really something. The daily record changes and the data after I drink it every day, this tea may really be different. Of course, I also bought Goose Slimming tea, although it is effective, but everyone, I can't stand going to the toilet. As soon as this post came out, countless people came below. Another guy who sells himself for fame. I just want to know how much money Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang gave you. Haha, is the Xiaofeng tea so good? It just happened to come out after Goose one drink light. This person didn't criticize hard before. I suspect that he is just a water army arranged by Li Chen and others. I'm watering your uncle. Do you have the guts to fight head on? You guys who only know how to spray mindlessly on the internet, don't you know what I posted? Is there anything wrong with recording real data? Support the original poster. Haha, I really support the original poster this time. I will also post my real-time record chart. Goo Slimming tea causes severe diarrhea, I can't stand it. On the contrary, this Xiaofeng tea doesn't have it. I also support the original poster, because I have also reported it in the past few days, but unfortunately my post was blocked, and then I received an anonymous threatening text message, asking me not to spread these rumors, otherwise I will be sued in court. Everyone, look, Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang have fought back and started to black goose. The people above are really dogs, this guy's account is the water army, right? Others say things and black. Look at the post you posted, is there any evidence and nutrition? This post quickly became popular and could not be stopped. Some people specifically blacked this side, but they were blacked back. However, the promotion of Xiaofeng tea here has still encountered considerable obstacles at the grassroots level. Today's goose can be said to be in its heyday, and it is not so easy to collapse. People's Hospital. Doctor, save me, save me. Doctor, I'm so itchy. Hurry up and hold it down, stop scratching, you've scratched your skin. The whole hospital was full of people. Mainly because there were too many people. And the outbreak area this time was not just Zhongcheng, but most of the country's large cities with concentrated populations. All the major hospitals were almost full. How could this happen? Why did so many similar cases break out in this area? Why are all their scratch marks female and fertile? Director, there are more serious cases now, there are no more wards. Overnight, thousands of people were admitted to the hospital. Gu's building. Gu Qingfeng's face was gloomy. He listened to the report on the phone and slammed the table heavily. Didn't they say that the side effect was only the inability to have children? Why are there symptoms such as itching and redness? Professor Zhou and others were silent. Speak, Gu Qingfeng roared. Professor Zhou sighed and said, you forgot that you asked us to increase the dosage to make the effect better. The previous side effect was just that I couldn't have children, but now, the side effects are really uncertain. The faces of many corporate CEOs were a little ugly, but they were still calm. Although there are more than 10,000 patients now, it is impossible to suppress them, but they are not really worried. The reputation will not collapse so quickly. Now find a way to contact the manufacturer and find a company willing to cooperate and let them take over this pot. Gu Qingfeng said calmly, do it immediately. In addition, organize people and effectively guide online public opinion. In addition, Gu's, and you have been working overseas during this period, so many things in the country are not our orders. Soon, Gu Qingfeng began to come up with a series of policies. This can remove them to the greatest extent without causing trouble. Of course, it will also prevent all fans and passers-by from having too much rebellious psychology. Boss Gu, something happened. Gu Qingfeng's face changed again and he asked, "What happened?" "Now, many people who bought slimming tea have had accidents. Now they are posting on their various social platforms, complaining, preparing to sue, and preparing to ask us for compensation. Some are even more serious and have been admitted to the intensive care unit. They have all reported to the inspection department." Hearing this, Gu Qingfeng snorted coldly, "Send someone to deal with it immediately. No matter what means are used, suppress it for me. I will not allow two things to explode at the same time." Yes. It is not the first time that Gu's company has dealt with such a difficult matter. After all, it is not difficult to suppress it. As for complaints, they will naturally use their connections and money to settle them, and soon these will disappear. This night is destined to be not very peaceful. However, the matter of the perfect traceless ointment can no longer be hidden. Chengdu. After Li Chen had breakfast with his wife and children, he would take a walk around here. Li Donglong went to the company to deal with the matter. After all, the rumors on the internet were beginning to reverse. Murong Shui held Li Chen's big hand and said with happiness and sweetness on her face, "I really hope that days like this can last forever." "Will do." "It's useless," Li Biwu imitated Li Chen and affirmed. Li Chen pinched the little girl's face. The little girl smiled sweetly and wanted to come down to play with Sangguo. Li Chen wished for this. There has been a lot of unrest on the internet recently, and many people are accusing the Gu family. Murong Shui said, "Does this mean that our time to fight back is almost here?" "It's already started." Li Chen tightened his grip a little. "Even if they deal with me, they actually dare to attack you. This time I will make sure that none of them can escape." Murong Shui showed a satisfied smile, and she could feel Li Chen's absolute attention. It wasn't that Murong Shui didn't really pay attention at all. She didn't say anything, just because she didn't want to disturb Li Chen's work too much. Spending time with his wife and children has always been Li Chen's top priority. After chewing off Gu's big bone, he was ready to go home. After all, the entire park is still under construction, and there are still preparations for the wedding with Shui, so there are a lot of things needed. If you don't watch it personally, you won't feel at ease. Jingle bell. Li Chen took out his cell phone and found that the call was from Zhao Dezu. "Master. I heard that the Gu family is having a thunderstorm now." "Isn't this a matter of time?" Li Chen said with a smile. "They are greedy for profit, but if they are more cautious, we may not have any chance." Zhao Dezu thought of Gu Qingfeng's radical temperament and shook his head. "Many people have come to me recently, hoping that I will come forward to treat the injured. How shameless are they to do such a thing? How can they think about you when they are boycotting you and abusing you and your 18 generations of ancestors?" Li Chen said angrily. Zhao Dezu sighed and said, "Human life is at stake. After all, the vast majority of people are just members of the community. They think they are the protagonists, but in fact they are just passers-by. Okay, you don't have to persuade me. You have to remember that we are doctors. No matter what, even if we want revenge, we have to save people first." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 649. Li Chen actually still has resentment. He is not a saint, and he cannot be a saint. But he can't blame Zhao Dezu, because people like Zhao Dezu are real doctors. Only when such people are doctors, everyone will feel at ease. Doctors nowadays have some personal ethics problems to a certain extent. Li Chen knows that this is the gap between him and his master. In the past, he just thought that this was a cheap master, but now, he recognizes it from the bottom of his heart. Zhao Dezu was finally invited out of the mountain. In Rongcheng alone, there are a large number of victimized female groups. Goo's Perfect Traceless Ointment is so popular that it is almost sold out every time it is put on the market. For these groups who want to remove stretch marks, this thing is simply good news, but no one has ever thought that the product they trust will explode. Rongcheng Traditional Chinese Medicine Hospital. At this time, the hospital is already overcrowded, mainly because there are too many victims, so many that everyone is too busy. Dr. Long, there are no wards now. Dr. Long, whose hair was half white and had deep dark circles under his eyes, waved his hand and said, "Now let's find a way to admit all the patients. In addition, ask about the situation at the first hospital and the second hospital." The head nurse said bitterly, "There are too many people using the Perfect Traceless Ointment now. Everyone has different symptoms. It's not just our hospital, but all hospitals are like this." Dr. Long was shocked. "Is it so serious?" "Yes," the head nurse couldn't help scratching, and this scene made Dr. Long's face change. "Head nurse, did you also use this ointment?" Even though the head nurse was wearing a mask, she couldn't help blushing and hummed. Dr. Long sighed heavily. Even the head nurse couldn't help using it, so you can imagine what others would do. No matter what, prepare for treatment first, and research the antipruritic medicine immediately, Dr. Long ordered. In addition, Zhao Dezu will come to help. Many patients around were actually paying attention to the conversation between the doctors in the two hospitals. At this moment, some patients were not happy when they heard Dr. Long mention Zhao Dezu. "I don't want Zhao Dezu to save me." "That's right, I don't want him to save me even if I die. A black-hearted person like Zhao Dezu will definitely take revenge on us." "Yes, we don't believe it. Why do you invite such a person with a bad conscience?" Many patients who didn't even have a bed were very excited when they heard the words. The head nurse wanted to make a few excuses, but was stopped by Dr. Long. Dr. Long shook his head slightly. He also heard about the things on the internet. He could only say that everyone's choice was different. As for Zhao Dezu, the old doctor, he knew very well that he was an old Chinese doctor who was capable and would not bear grudges. He was determined to promote the combination of Chinese and Western medicine and made great efforts. His lifelong reputation was finally ruined by Gu's family. He couldn't bear it. As for these people, to put it bluntly, they are all a bunch of fools. There is no point in arguing with them. Hospitals are overcrowded because more and more people are experiencing side effects. After all, they use it more and more. When they see the effect, they naturally apply more. You know, if the dosage is not increased, at most you can't have children, but that is invisible damage. But now, because of the dosage, and the fact that women are very eager to eliminate stretch marks, the result is that something that should have exploded at least a month later has exploded in half a month. The less serious problem is itching, and the skin will be scratched. And the serious ones have been sent to the intensive care unit, and even their lives may be in danger. At this moment, when their own safety is threatened, these people began to calm down. Some men have begun to stand up, and some are elders in the family, but the resistance at this time seems meaningless. After all, Gu's side has experienced ups and downs, and has arrangements in various places, and knows how to rescue on both fronts at the same time. When giving compensation, give a certain threat, so that things can be guaranteed to explode later. Shocking news, Gushi, known as a conscientious enterprise in China, has actually collapsed. Is it a distortion of human nature, or a loss of morality? Are the products of conscientious enterprises really perfect? Or are they also as bad as Zayashi? My wife got into trouble because she used this Perfect Traceless Ointment. Now she is lying in the intensive care unit. Gushi must give us an explanation. My daughter and I both used Gushi's Perfect Traceless Ointment. Because I am old, I use it less, but my daughter's abdomen has ulcerated. Gushi, don't you feel bad for making money against your conscience? These black fans are really interesting. The official has not given any explanation yet, but they are framing you. Are you the water army hired by Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang? That's right, I'm not that kind of person. I also firmly believe that Goose is not that kind of profiteer. Their products are still very reliable. What do these people who black Goose want? Do you really think that you will have a good life if you help Li Chen and Zhao's? On the internet, a new round of public opinion and verbal battles have been triggered. Although it is said that the situation is beginning to get out of control all over the country, it has not yet reached the stage of a full-scale outbreak. In addition, Gu has taken a two-pronged approach, including paying hush money, so the effect. Not bad. Of course, there are now people who are completely awake and reacting. So I started sending emails and making phone calls to question Mr. Gu. However, these things have all fallen into disuse. Tong tong. I feel so uncomfortable. In the ward, there was no trace of blood on Lai Wanyan's originally pretty face. She looked a little painful, holding Wen Mantung's hands tightly with both hands, and couldn't help but want to scratch them. However, her abdomen and legs had already been scratched. The traces of blood were shocking. Lai Wanyan endured the extremely painful pain and let out bursts of painful wails. I'm so itchy. You have to endure it. When Mantung felt distressed, but she couldn't stop him. Doctor, is there any ointment to relieve the itching? Even if it only temporarily relieves the itching. Girl, it's useless for you to be anxious for the time being, because we don't have a solution here for the time being. A passing doctor explained. Now all the patients are just like you, tortured to death. When Mantung looked dull and didn't know what to say for a moment. Is it really the ointment that caused it? We're not sure yet. The Drug Identification Center also needs time to identify it. The doctor shook his head. There were some things he didn't dare to say directly. If he is targeted by the Gu family, he will not be able to withstand the pressure as well as the old miracle doctor Zhao Dezu. But he also knew that it was probably Gu who did this. When Mantung looked at Lai Wanyan, who was in pain and her fingers were covered in blood because she wasn't paying attention, and quickly held her down. Let me go and let me scratch, it's really itchy. Lai Wanyan cried, it was too torture. Tong Tong, why are you okay? The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 650. When Mantung was stunned for a moment by Lai Wanyan's question, and then said, it's useless. This time it was Lai Wanyan's turn to be stunned, and she showed an increasingly painful expression. If only I didn't use Gu's ointment, then I wouldn't have this problem. That feeling of itching and not being able to scratch is really too painful. And the more you scratch, the more it hurts, and the more it hurts, the more you want to scratch. The result is that the skin is bruised and the flesh is bruised, and it will not stop. This is what these people are like today. When Mantung hesitated and said, actually, we didn't use it when we had the chance. Lai Wanyan struggled painfully and broke into a cold sweat. Not everyone could bear this feeling of extreme endurance. Do you still remember the time we met Li Chen half a month ago? Lai Wanyan turned pale and asked Wen Mantung to tie her hands with something. At that time, Li Chen told us that there was something wrong with Gu's medicine, but unfortunately we didn't believe it. Wen Mantung could only talk to divert the attention of her best friend. Sure enough, Lai Wanyan couldn't help but think back to that scene, and her attention gradually became distracted. Memories came flooding back, and she remembered that at that time, she was still prejudiced and looked down on Li Chen. I thought that Li Chen simply wanted to show his presence, but little did he know that Li Chen's reminder turned out to be unfavorable advice. So, Lai Wanyan's face turned pale and she was trembling as she spoke. That time I took you to buy ointment, but you didn't actually use it much, right? Wen Mantung was a little embarrassed and nodded guiltily. She knew that Li Chen was not the kind of person to make noises to please others, and later she learned that a fight broke out between Li Chen and the Gu family. She became more and more determined in her heart that Li Chen would never lie to them. This is why Chu Xiang is still very dissatisfied with her, because she does not use Gu's ointment in large quantities, so the effect of removing stretch marks is extremely insignificant. Now it seems that Li Chen did not lie to himself. Lai Wanyan closed her eyes in pain, and a deep sense of regret surged in her heart. If given the chance to choose again, I would never easily believe the true and false words on the internet again. Don't worry, there are so many powerful doctors, they will definitely find a way when Man Tung comforted. Lai Wanyan's situation is not the only one. The patients who originally distrusted Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang now had to face up to this problem. After all, facts do not lie. What followed was that a small number of people began to side with Li Chen. On the second day, the number of patients in each city increased more than 5 times. This has left major hospitals that were already in short supply of beds completely without space. And the number of people in this situation is still increasing. Zhangcheng. The Gu family also has the Alliance building where many companies are located. The tinkling alarm bell rings almost continuously, with no intention of stopping. All the people who are responsible for receiving calls never take a break from the time the phone rings. Some staff members are already on the verge of collapse. What's going on with you? Why did it take so long to get through when I called you? Did you just sell the ointment and stop doing nothing? Do you really feel guilty about deceiving consumers? I thought you were the conscience of the industry, but I didn't expect you to be worse than anyone else. You must give us an explanation, otherwise we will continue to complain to the end. Sir, please don't get excited. We will record it and give you feedback. Stop prevaricating here. Do you really think we don't know your situation? I'm afraid your phone calls are all being bombarded now, right? If it's feedback, is there no response now? I've given you a chance anyway. If we, the consumers, must be regarded as fools, then don't blame us for defending our rights to the end. Madam, please pay attention to your words, I am just a part-time worker. Sir, we are really taking this seriously. Can you please stop swearing? Yes, but you can't curse us. We don't produce the medicine. No matter who it was, they all received the call at this moment. There is no way not to answer, and there is no way to refuse. Gu's building at this time. All company representatives and shareholders were sitting together, but Gu Qingfeng still sat at the front. Wang Tong, Professor Zhou and others were sitting in the corner area with very ugly expressions. All Gu's shareholders now look gloomy. Even for them, the mobile phones placed on the table at the moment are ringing non-stop. People nowadays pay attention to privacy, but they are often the least private. As long as someone wants to take action, their contact information will be found. So, everyone's phones are being bombarded at the moment. Mr. Gu, we must come up with a charter for this matter. Yeah, it's getting more and more noisy outside. Do we really want to ignore it? Now they just harass me, and they don't even spare my wife and children. It's really irritating. People sitting in this office area couldn't help but complain. Gu Qingfeng said calmly, don't worry, some things are only temporary. These people like to take advantage of small things, and they are also the easiest to lose their memory. Even if we really fail this time, we can start over. The reason why these people are making trouble now is that our compensation is not enough to make them feel comfortable. Although they said so, everyone understood that it was impossible to take out the money that was in their pockets. They didn't plan to take it out. When the time comes, we will find a scapegoat, arrange a wave of selling misery, and finally stop the production of this drug. We will do some charity work and make more presents. Believe me, it won't take long, maybe even less than a month. Everyone can do what they want. Gu Qingfeng is really good at handling this kind of thing. People nowadays seem to be difficult to deal with, but in fact they are the easiest to deal with. For now, Let them continue to complain, just control the public opinion on the internet, find some seriously ill patients and then persuade them to rebel. Gu Qingfeng said, "This is our disaster, but also our opportunity. If we can handle it well, we may seem to lose money, but we may make more money." Since Gu Qingfeng said so confidently, the others naturally didn't say anything more. They all knew that Gu Qingfeng would definitely not joke about everyone's money prospects. Soon, this group of people arranged for people to move, but they didn't expect that Li Chen and Zhao Hualiang had been waiting for a long time. Gu Qingfeng completely ignored Li Chen at this moment, because in his opinion, Li Chen could no longer make any trouble.